let's get started. So, right now I'm reading The Economist article from The Economist. The article is called China's Ultra Short Dramas Will Enjoy Long-Term Success, written by Nicole Fan, and the illustration is done by Tuisha Patney. Now, the illustration is obviously done using AI, which I really do not like. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not entirely certain because I don't have. I've never actually drawn anything, but my visual cues are telling me that it's created with at least a little help from with using AI. Not a little help, actually. I think 99% of it is AI, and I'm like 99% sure that it is created with AI. And the funny thing is, the article talks about how. Let me just read a sentence from the article. In 2024, two short-form video platforms, Douyin and Kuaishou, released microdramas created using artificial intelligence for the first time. Nearly every aspect of production, from storyboarding to and scripting to the actors themselves, involved AI, which accelerated complex processes and cut costs. It's very strange. So, the book that I was reading yesterday, Only the Paranoid Can Survive, I believe. It talks about, shoot. There's a phrase that he used when the fundamentals of a company essentially changes. The fundamentals, the foundations, how they work. And artificial intelligence is obviously that. It's affecting companies from everything, from finance, entertainment, science, pharmaceuticals, you name it. And especially entertainment with its euthanizing I don't know if aspects is the correct word to be used, but it's a euthanizing process. It makes instead of making the person think about what this person is trying to say, it's not even that. It's about making your day less miserable, alleviating your shitty day into, just putting I don't know, giving you like it's like an energy drink, like a 5-hour energy or Monster or Red Bull. It's fucking terrible for you, but it gives you the caffeine and the energy that you may need in order to lift yourself up a little bit. And the more we stray away from viewing art as a form of what this person or what the creator is trying to tell or is trying to portray, or even if they don't have a certain emotion, it still comes from something inside them. Like me doing this right now, making this video and recording myself reading, I'm doing it for a certain set of reasons, certain processes, certain piles of reasons that make me motivated and wanting to sit myself down and literally read for an hour. Instead of getting people to kind of think about, I'm not saying that it isn't, but it's very, right now, I don't, it's very difficult to understand what this person's intentions are with artificial intelligence, anything that has been created with AI. For instance, let's think about music. With music, artificial, with music that has been created with AI, I don't give a shit. You know, if this person thinks that they have the ability to make music, if they really think that, then I could literally just pull up the most expensive version of ChatGPT and ask it and ask the and ask for novels and pretend that I'm a writer. You think about that. Think about how silly that sounds. Writing in itself requires not just the work of one person, but requires the work of an editor. You need a good editor. You need a good editor who's willing to read. Who's willing to read the entire thing, make changes, suggest changes, and it's that conversation between one mind and the other that creates like the synergy that makes your work shine. I may be looking at it in an optimistic way. That's literally how it is. I think ChatGPT, think about it. It's not original. It's a pile of, compiled data. It uses I don't know. I don't know how much terabytes of data it uses. But it's piled up information that has been specifically molded to fit your interest. But nothing from that is original. It's actually repulsive of how people are really thinking that they are artists, that they are musicians, that they are producers, that they are authors and writers, when all they're using is just prompts. You using some creative prompt isn't going to get you anywhere. That's literally what everyone does. That's literally what a writer does. They need to have a creative prompt first in order to get going. They don't know how it's going to end. The process comes with, the story comes with the process of writing when they're making the first draft. Similar to music, like with music, it really, I don't know where they're getting the audacity. And people can do people can claim whatever the fuck they want to claim for themselves. Like it's just the audacity and how we are now completely okay with it. Don't even get me started with influencers. Influencers were another thing. And think about that, like influencers. Yeah, I don't like advertisement either. Yeah, something is I'm reading this article and I have nothing against but reading this article with an illustration that has been most definitely most okay, not definitely most very likely been created with using AI. In reading this article that's talking about how it's cutting cost, accelerated complex processes. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean, accelerated complex processes? What does that mean? Like, what the heck? What does that mean? That's so vague. And she doesn't even explain what kind of complex processes that they're talking about. Chinese back, okay. Like, I have no problems with AI accelerating. Um, for example, there was that, what do you call it? It was like an image, brain image, of a fruit fly. It has been complete, like a complete rendering of. Hang on, complete rendering brain fruit fly. Oh, here we go. Yeah, complete wiring map of an adult fruit fly brain that has been completed with the help of AI, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so it says artificial intelligence and human expertise meet to generate a map of all the connections in the fly brain. If I'm all for AI providing immense amount of support in order to do complex, difficult um, processes. I don't, you know, um, that will take up a great amount of time. You know, if that's, I'm talking about not weeks, not weeks of work done in like, I'm talking about years, literally years, like decades of work that could be done in like in a span of maybe a day or even a week. I'm all about that, but I didn't understand the complex processes or what it was with that entertainment article about what I read for you guys. Instead of thinking, instead of thinking what and I'm not saying this is for everyone, right? Instead of thinking like what what the story is basically behind, um you can still have a negative, I mean, I'm not saying negative, I'm not putting negative thing in a bad light. But instead of feeling but this is what I'm trying to say. So instead of feeling negative because a form of art didn't deliver what you were expecting, try to I'm saying you need to think about the intended intended portrayal is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like a lot of viewers of any entertainment, be be it music, drama, visual arts, anything. I think both sides need to really work on that. The directors, the creators, and the audience. And I'm not saying, and going back, I think many viewers, because they're so inundated with entertainment that's all around them. Literally, they can, when I was a teenager, um, we didn't have like a solidified service like Netflix or Spotify where we can enjoy music from literally any era. Um, if you wanted to listen to some rare music, you needed connections, or you needed to pirate, or you needed to go to a record shop. Um, Now you can literally listen to any, arc, arc, archival, like recording from like the 60s. It could be available on YouTube. It could be available on Apple Music. It could be available on Spotify. Because everything is so around, it's hard for. I think it's also making it difficult for people to concentrate on one thing because they see things as way too abundant. Um, and I'm sort of in the guilty mind as well because I have so many books that I want to read, but then I get distracted after I read the first 20, 30 pages of a book. I'm like, okay, I got it. Okay, what about this story? And then I go to the next one. And when I sometimes read, I try to finish it without fully understanding what I read previously. So I would get so when they introduce a character, for example, I may have forgotten what this character's main beliefs are, what his personality may be, you know, just careless reading. So I don't know if I said this, but what I'm trying to say is I think people need to think first. People need to think before they see things. They condemn something. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Now I may be being very because it's some of the comments just don't make sense. It just doesn't make sense that they have thoroughly thought about this for at least an hour, for at least an hour or two. Okay, not even an hour or two, maybe 30 minutes. They have not given this a 30-minute thought before writing a negative comment about it. And especially when you write something negative, you you realize some parts of what you're writing is silly. Your arguments may be flawed. It may not have it may not have the right connections that you thought it had in your head. When you say it out loud, suddenly it doesn't make sense. Or when you write it down, it doesn't make sense. Thinking about processes like that. And we're just, if we are constantly being shown, if we are constantly being shown something that we like, just bombardment of bombardment of positive reinforcement. I don't know if that's the correct phrase, but if we're constantly being shown something like that, then it's essentially we're just drinking soda. You know, we're drinking some sugary stuff. So much that our tongue fails to distinguish what's actually the good sweet or what's actually the bad sweet, you know, because we're so we're essentially being pushed to the brink of this positive. It's like this. The mind. It's like, just think about it in with drugs. First time you do heroin, you know, every one of those every one of the addicts say at the first hit, you know, there comes a time when the same dose isn't enough. Like you need more and you need more, and so and now you need that amount to stay sane instead of getting that high. Is what I'm trying to say. You constantly throw in this jumble of entertainment that's purposefully designed to make you feel good. Well, now you need more and more and more and more. You need more shit, what's that word? In Korean it's called 자극적인 자극적인 맛. Um yeah, I forget. But yeah, it's One thing that I regret is, when I was a student, when I was a high school kid, I didn't have a laptop. My high school days were really bad. I was just actually I can't say this. I can't say this in front of the camera. I can't because it's regarding my family, and I feel like it's very personal to say it. And it's unrelated. But I'm reading. You know that phrase where a lot of people say, "Oh, to be young and be wide-eyed. We be wide-eyed with curiosity again." Never mind. Actually, never mind. All right. I'll see you guys in a few hours.